HK MP5K semi-automatic 177 caliber with folding stock. Why is this the best repeater CO2 BB gun? Not only does it function well and is easy to operate, the MP5K is a beautiful clone, and although it's mostly plastic, it has the same high quality feel you can expect from Umarex. For $100, this clone of the classic famous HK submachine gun is an excellent value. There's truly only two downsides to this gun outside of it not being select fire. The charging handle reciprocates and locks upon manual manipulation, although serves no firing function, yet the bolt does reciprocate upon firing. The second downside is the fixed sight, but still functions well. The gun is absolutely beautiful. So many of us grew up with various models of the MP5, and this one specifically is quite similar to the D5K from GoldenEye. You may notice on this BB gun model, the muzzle does protrude from the front of the handguard handstop as compared to the D5K, which was named quite accurately in the Nintendo 64 GoldenEye game.
Please take a moment to like and subscribe to Vital Arms 2020 if you enjoy this type of content.
The muzzle device is secured by a plastic tri-lug adapter. I'm not disappointed in it being plastic. In fact, I'm impressed. It has a mock ratchet tri-lug muzzle device that is easily removed and reveals the famous tri-lug adapter beneath. I also had a faux silencer laying around from a 6mm MP5 AEG that I've had for 20 years, and it fits perfectly and doesn't affect the point of impact. The forward vertical grip looks and feels exactly like you'd expect it to. The aesthetics are impressive. It has a standard paddle release that functions instinctively as you simultaneously grab and remove the magazine. The angle of entry for the magazine throws my eyes off from where I naturally would guide the magazine, but this quickly is fixed through practice handling the BB gun. The magazine button on the side is non-functioning. The markings look beautiful. Call me an HK fanboy, but this is as close as I can get living in communist California. If this was a real firearm, which it's not, my local ATF agent's head would explode considering its short barrel, forward grip, side folding stock. Hide your dog. All jokes aside, thankfully airguns are not regulated in this silly manner. The safety selector is what I expect from HK. Specifically for me, the safety is easy to manipulate when held like a pistol single-handed or when held at an angle against the body. This is a similar issue I have with the HK G36 22 long rifle, but hardly an issue. More so just a slight discomfort for my wrist due to the positioning and angle of the pistol grip. In typical HK fashion, this grip is molded as part of the lower assembly made of polymer, similar to the real firearm. The trigger is interesting and has a special feature that works exceptionally well for CO2 airguns. On safe, with a loaded magazine or without a magazine, the trigger will pull with little to no resistance. With an empty mag inserted, the trigger is locked even despite being on fire. This is a great feature on a CO2 BB gun because it's quite common many will continue to dry fire and waste CO2 even after empty. Since there is no last round bolt hold open, this trigger lock upon empty is actually a usable feature that I really enjoy. The trigger upon firing is quite heavy, but to be expected for a BB gun, and feels like a mix between a crisp double action and a mushy striker fire trigger, which oddly I relish. If for some reason you'd like to dry fire this model, you certainly can with and without the mag inserted. If the magazine is inserted, simply lock the follower to the bottom by pulling it down all the way. This will bypass the trigger lock on empty. One of my favorite features of this MP5K is how to load the 12-gram CO2 cartridges. I have a lot of 177 caliber CO2 guns, and more often than not, the envelope in development has not been pushed. There's nothing more disappointing when a beautiful scale clone requires an Allen wrench and a threaded cap that oftentimes feels impossible to line up. This gun has one of the most unique and forward-thinking ways of accepting CO2. Simply pull out the top takedown pin, which to my surprise is captured, pull the back of the receiver cap where the stock attaches, and simply add or remove a cartridge. Close it back up, insert the pin, and best of all, no Allen wrench. Lift the tab and twist until you hear the hiss and tighten appropriately.
Today's sponsor is absolutely nobody because I made this for fun.
The stock is a great addition to the model because it folds up nicely and looks great. With some practice, the opening and closing becomes quick and easy. I have to say, I was a little disappointed in not getting any of the cool extras like the rail mount. With my order, I received only the gun and one magazine, but for $109.99, I can't complain. As I've been collecting firearms and BB guns made by Umarex and licensed by HK, I've noticed that these clones of unicorn firearms come and go as they start and stop the production on various different models. So if you like this gun, I think you should absolutely buy one before they're gone again. These were first released around 2012 and re-released nearly a decade later. If you live in a free state, go ahead and get your hands on the 22 long rifle version of this made by Umarex.